Shout out to Ja Rule and his wife. They are now celebrating 24 years of marriage. Ja Rule has been on the scene for a long time. You know, he bust out with hit songs like Always on Time, Living It Up, Furious, Mesmerized, New York, Holla Holla, Put It On Me, Thug Lovin', you know, Down 8B. He's had a whole bunch of number one hits, right? Traveled the world, sold records all over the world. He had a well publicized beef with 50 Cent. But one thing that he's had is a marriage that he's been able to maintain for 24 years. His wife has mainly stayed in the background, minding her business. You know what I mean? You know, basically being a good wife. You know, you don't really hear anything about her in the tabloids. And I'm sure she had to endure and put up with a lot of stuff, especially with being a young man making millions of dollars in the industry where you're touring around the world. Everywhere you go, there's women waiting for you. So I'm sure that they had their ups and downs, but they met in high school. They were very young. They had 3 children together, and they've been together long enough to have grown children. Right? This is a great thing. You know, Ja Rule, 49 years old, born out of Queens, New York. Listen, we saw him on stage with Shanti. We saw, like a lot of us danced to, a lot of his hits. Especially back to my generation because we're the same age, right? But he gives a lot of accolades to his wife. There was a trip to Africa that they went, and they was asking him about his wife, and he said this.
When the project photos were released, I saw a particular touching moment where your hands were wrapped around your wife. Yeah. This year, I don't know if you've seen it, I've seen that same pose where wow. I even mentioned it to a friend, talking about how touching this moment is and how consistent it has been. What does your wife's support to this project also mean to you?
I mean, it means everything. Like I said out there, my short, brief speech. That's my backbone. That's right. My better half. It's funny. The night of the gala, they were, doing the auctions and stuff, and we had just also did a vacation package with them and stuff, and so it comes up and said, "Do anybody want to, build a school and help us build a school, to put money to build a school in Guatemala and Africa, And I looked at my wife and I said, "Babe, you want to build a school?" She said, "Yeah, let's build a school." Up goes the paddle. Here we are. So that's the type of woman that I have by my side. It's not even a doubt in her mind when it's the moment to give back or the moment to do something audacious.
I like the way you use the audacious. And I know you talk to your wife almost all the time, but talking about her, I mean, I'm a woman and it touches my heart so much. Oh. So aside the talks that you have with her almost all the time, if she's watching you, what would you want to tell her? Knowing that you asked her and you've been able to build a school, everything.
I've been saying it since we got here. I said, "Baby, we did it." I said, "We did it." And knowing that, like I said, I want to just keep coming back just to see the progress. I announced yesterday I want to do some add-ons to my block. Maybe do another 6 classroom block. Definitely want to do, a gym where they can play, sports and, some soccer, some basketball. I love golf, so maybe we'll put some simulators in there for the kids to learn golf. But those are my thoughts, just expanding what we're doing with the program a little bit.
So he gives a lot of love, admiration, and respect to his wife. And a lot of people don't like to see that. So they posted this picture, "Happy anniversary, my love. 24 years of marriage is an amazing feeling when it's with the one that you love." And a lot of people are sad and miserable. Then they had somebody said, "Damn, she let herself go," right? Somebody else said, 50 Cent, 50 is going to do her super file in 4, 3, 2, 1, right? Man, listen, but this is all the goofies, right? These are all your goofies out here online, trolling, doing a whole bunch of foolishness, but they all miserable. They're miserable people. There's somebody said, "Nah, that's his mom," right? But this is, and I'm telling you now, the sad part about it is, a lot of people that do a lot of this stuff is our people. It's our people. This is the way we do each other because a lot of our people are so miserable. You're unhappy. You're mad at the man or the woman that you chose because what you deemed decent, right, brought you a lot of pain because you never took inventory of yourself and said that I had to reevaluate the things I think is decent, the things I've been groomed to believe is cool or sexy. So you always pick what's good to you instead of what's good for you. You don't look down the line, right? You pick everything in the now, right? You don't look at, well, how would I be with this woman 10 years from now, or this man 10 years from now? You live in the now, so you get what you get. But then you don't want to take accountability. So when you see other people that's happy, you wanna go in on his wife. Now let me tell you something. You want to go in on his wife. You want to go in on him. You want to try to find things that would make them look bad, right? Because you want to find things that would make them look bad because you can't measure up, because you're miserable, right? But let me tell you something. You can see the before and after pictures, right? I've been married to my wife for 24 years, right? He's been married to his wife for 24 years, right? He's been with this woman long enough to see this woman in her prime. They enjoy each other when they're young. They running down the street, having fun, doing all kinds of stuff in their youth. Then he's been with this woman long enough to see her hair turn gray. He's been with this woman long enough to see her gain weight, to see her physical features start to change, to see babies come out of this woman, to watch babies grow, to watch her breastfeed on the baby, to watch her go through all her hormonal changes as a woman. He's grew up with a woman. He's grew up with this person. She grew up with him. A lot of y'all would never experience this, but you always run in your mouth. You yearn to experience this, but you don't know how because you're selfish, right? You don't understand sacrifice. You don't understand the commitment that it actually takes to obtain and maintain a marital relationship that long. 90% of y'all can't do it. You can't do it. You never sat in the bed at the end of a bed and watched, matter of fact, no. You never sat and watched the woman belly begin to grow and you're rubbing on her stomach and you got your ear on her belly. You can hear your child kicking in the stomach, right? You putting cold or warm rags on her head and you're rubbing her back. She's carrying your baby and you're waiting on this woman on hand and feet, awaiting the birth of your child, right? And when you're actually with the woman, though, not when you get a woman pregnant and you just come over and visit her. I'm talking about when you're actually with the woman, and it's the woman you love. It's the woman that you want to have your child. How do y'all never experience this, right? You're rubbing on her belly. When it's time for the baby to be born, you're standing at the end of the bed, and it's just you and her in the room, not her mama and nobody else. It's just you, her, and the doctor, and you watch that baby come out. And you look over at the clock, and you see what time it is, that your son or your daughter has just arrived into the world. I've experienced this multiple times with my woman. I was with this woman when I first met this woman, walking down the street. And I tried to talk to her and she told me no. And I tried to talk to her again and she told me no. Then one day on Father's Day, what I didn't know was she had already befriended and met my sister in church. And here I am trying to talk to this woman and she was turning me down. One day I'm in the house with my father with another girl and she walks in with my sister. I take my sister in the kitchen and say, hey, you know her? You know, I tried to talk to this girl like 3 times. She said, oh, that's my girlfriend. You know, your daughter be at her house all the time because, yeah, we hang out together. Long story short, we end up getting together. 24 years later, we're married, children, 6 grandchildren, all those different things. And I watched this woman go from her prime years in her 20s now to her late 40s. We grew up together. I learned so many different things about the aspect of a woman, right, that you couldn't even believe. But you guys sit here and you want to denigrate them. You want to disrespect them. You want to disrespect their marriage. And marriage is not something that's promised to you like life or death. It's something that you got to fight for. I tell you guys this all the time. There's ups and downs. There's peaks and valleys. There's all kinds of things that go on in the marriage, but it's all a part of the growth. It's all a part of the walk. When you decide to walk with this woman, and my oh man, y'all can't even imagine, man. Oh my God. Sitting there and you can sit back as a grown man and I can be on my grill and I'm watching my children have children. I'm picking up my grandbabies. I'm sitting on the couch with my wife and I'm giving her a kiss on the cheek and I'm saying, baby, look what we did. Remember them days when you was telling me no when I was trying to get with you? And then when you finally said, yeah, look at what we've been able to accomplish. Look at what we brought into the world together as a couple. Look, we become an example of what they said that black love couldn't be. We become this. So I don't have a problem with promoting or showing my wife or showing my family, because I'm putting a clean glass next to a dirty glass when they said that it was impossible for us to be able to do it. That's what they said. Well, I'm telling you that that's a lie from the pit of hell. Because I'm from every hood. I'm from the hood just like anybody else. And I chose to be committed to something. I chose to sacrifice. I chose to love. And in that, I've achieved, man, whoo. I can sit back and I can look at my children. I'm tearing up. I can sit back and I can look at my children and my grandchildren. So on this day, I celebrate Ja Rule. I celebrate his wife, 24 years of marriage, because I understand. I understand, because I lived that same life too. I understand when they raise 3 children to adults and one is in college and all these different things. I'm there. I'm there. I have a 32-year-old son. I have a 30-year-old daughter, a 27-year-old, a 17-year-old. I've been there. 6 grandbabies. So on this day, I want to celebrate them. Much love to them, and I hope that they have a lifetime together. So shout out to Ja Rule and his wife, man. Y'all stop hating out there, man. So I'm gonna cut this video short here. If you made it this far in the video, hit that like button, subscribe to Street Media TV, and remember, I love y'all. Till the next time, peace.